in this town. That can all change like that.
Hey! You're Rick fucking Dalton. Don't you forget it.
All right, so what do I have to say about Quentin Tarantino's new movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Well, I'll tell you what I think about it. I think it's pretty good. You know, I don't think there's anything like wrong with the film. There's nothing technically wrong with the film. He does that, you know, alternate history thing, which he did in Inglourious Bastards, and I think maybe a couple other ones. I can't really remember. Oh yeah, full spoilers for this, by the way. Do not click on this unless you've seen the movie. But big spoilers. If you're just coming by because you want to know if the film's good or not, yeah, it's good. It's a good film. But let's get into what I really think of the film. I mean, I'm a huge Quentin Tarantino fan. I've seen all his films. And I can't help but feel that this new one is not quite up to snuff with the rest of Quentin Tarantino's work. And, you know, in a way, like, how could he top what he's already done? As a pure film, this is great. I mean, this is a great film. I mean, if you know you love dialogue, you love camera work, you love characters, this is a great film. But if you were going in expecting like Manson Family and like Quentin Tarantino is going to do his own version of that at the end, well, you're not going to get that because he kind of like punishes you for wanting that or wanting to think that. Because the whole film, you're like watching it and you're like, oh, when's this Manson family going to come in? It's like this looming thing over the film. And then you get to the last 10 minutes and the Manson family gets their shit kicked in. And that's the end of the film. You know, it's like you were worried about nothing the whole time instead of just watching the film. And I think that's like the beautiful message of the film, right? It's like people think about, you know, the outcomes and, you know, like how important the outcomes are and everything. And we all like build it up in our heads the whole movie. And then you get to the end of the movie and it's not what you think at all. It's actually the quite opposite. And all the stuff you're worried about doesn't matter anymore. Like it's pretty great in that respect. And it really gets me interested to go back and watch this film a second time because I imagine I'm going to see it with clearer eyes the second time. And I'll probably appreciate it even more. And I appreciate it a lot right now. Like, I really like this film a lot. Even though I don't think it's his best work. And I hate to put that caveat in there. But, like, it's tough for any of his films to beat Reservoir Dogs for me. Or, like, Kill Bill. Or, you know, Django. Or, you know, like, he's done so many amazing films. That it's tough to say that this new one is, like, better than them. Right? But that doesn't mean it's like a bad film by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, this is a great film for most directors. Like if any director had this film in their filmography, they would be like a huge celebrated director, right? But because it's Quentin Tarantino, it's going to get scrutinized because of his other work that he's done. And that's what people are going to hold it up to. And that's not a fair thing to do, really. Because he's done so many great things that, you know, if you hold this up in comparison, it might not look as good, but when you compare it to the rest of film, like the rest of what's out there right now in the cinema, Quentin Tarantino is still like the best thing going. And this new film kind of proves it. He kind of spent a almost 3-hour movie just jerking the audience around for like 3 hours just to slap them in the face in the end because they were wanting to get something, but they didn't get that. Instead, he does an alternate history. He has the Manson family get their ass kicked by Brad Pitt, and the movie ends. And in a way, this film is like a big middle finger to movie-going audiences. And Quentin Tarantino said in a past interview that this might be his last film. And I can kind of see that now, thinking about the film as a whole and comparing it with the rest of his filmography. Because his new film, you know, it talks a lot about being useless and, you know, past your prime. And you can't really do much about anything, right? You're just happy to get a job still, right? And it feels like what Quentin Tarantino is saying with this film is that, you know, he's not just going to keep making these movies to pay a bill, you know? And he's actually, like, admitting to himself that maybe he might not be as good as a director as he used to be. But that doesn't mean that he can't have moments of brilliance. And that's what this film is. There's a lot of brilliant moments in this film. And it's layered in a story where people are going to, you know, toss aside maybe. And some people might, you know, consider it a cop-out that he went alternate history route. And other people might get mad because it's subverting expectations and people don't like that. when you subvert expectations, people are going to pick apart this film, or they're going to tear it down as much as possible, probably. But what I feel like Quentin Tarantino's saying with the film is that he doesn't care. He's just going to keep making the film if he wants to make it. If he feels that spark in him, he will create, he will make something. But he's not just doing it for a paycheck. He's never going to do it just for money again. And I feel like that's the whole story he's trying to tell with this movie. Because the movie's called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And yes, it's the same time period as the Manson family. And yes, it still has to do with those characters, mixed in some new characters that are, new to this reality, whatever. But the point is, and I think this is the point of the whole movie, is that Quentin Tarantino is just going to make these films for himself. He spent a whole 3-hour movie to tell the audience that. Because he's had a great filmography, just a bunch of amazing films. Like, not a single film of his, like, he's never made a film I don't like. All his films are excellent. But this really felt like some kind of, like, a nice goodbye to the movie-going audience. He fucked around with you for 3 more hours, told a great story with a bunch of great acting, got you really invested. And now he's off, he'll be back to make another film one day if he's up for it, But I think everyone just really needs to appreciate just how good Quentin Tarantino has been as a director. Not many directors come across in our lives that doesn't make a bad film. I mean, yeah, art's all subjective. So I guess maybe to somebody they didn't like, but like, you cannot deny that every film this man has made has been an excellent story. And he's done everything he's wanted to do. And there was times in his career where he was forced to do stuff like Kill Bill. He was forced to cut that film in half and stuff. But, anyway, that's beside the point. I just think he's a great director. This film was fine. It was good. I liked it a lot. And as I'm reflecting on it, I'm liking it more and more. And I think this film has a lot to say about his career and what he's feeling right now at this stage in his career. And I totally get it, man. Yeah, keep making your movies, Quentin Tarantino. I really hope he doesn't retire forever. But anyway, that's it for now. If you could decipher this, if you could understand what I was trying to say, good on you. And if you haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and you're just listening to this for, just for shits and giggles, definitely go see the movie. And if you're a big Quentin Tarantino fan, you should have already saw this movie. So, so you already know everything that happened in it. You know the entire meta story that's happening right now. That most, journalists and, media bloggers are not going to understand until like 5 years later, but like right now, anybody that's a fan of Quentin Tarantino is probably going to love this film and they're going to see exactly what he's trying to say. And I guess we're just going to have to wait for the rest of society to catch up. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for joining me. I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye. Oh yeah, I should give it a rating, right? Because, in this society, that's all we care about is ratings. And I give it a, 5 pizzas out of 2 schmoes. I'll see y'all later. Bye.
In this town, that can all change like that.
Hey! You're Rick fucking Dalton. Don't you forget it.